Thanks everybody for being here. We really appreciate you taking time this morning. My name is Patrick Dowd, Executive Director at Allies for Children. And I want to just start off by pointing out that our offices are in the Children's Museum. And I walked over this morning from the Children's Museum. I don't know how cold it is, but it's cold. And before we really get started, let's remind ourselves that today and tomorrow and every day of this school year and every day of this year, crossing guards will be out on the street. It doesn't matter if it's 0 degrees, if it's 50 degrees like it was last week, or if it's 100 degrees. They'll be out there each and every day working to make our streets safe, particularly for the children and youth who are here in Pittsburgh. And that's really the purpose of our press conference today and the reason that we're all here and that we've been working for the last several months. Crossing guards, as we all know, are an important part of the fabric of our community. They play a vital role each and every day, helping to keep pedestrians, particularly children and youth, safe on the streets. They spend a lot of time teaching kids how to cross the streets, how to make sure that they're safe, looking out for them. Sure, there are accidents, but there are more that do not happen because of the work of the crossing guards each and every day. And it's not just the pedestrian safety that they're responsible for. These are uniformed members of the Bureau of Police here in the city of Pittsburgh, and they play a fundamental role in improving relations between the police and the youth. So they have a very, very important role to play in that regard as well. Crossing guards have been doing this work for a long time, but we haven't always had leaders who have recognized the importance and the value of that work. Mayor Peduto, Chief McClay, Superintendent Lane understand the value of crossing guards, as do a whole host of nonprofit partners who have come together to help work to elevate the quality of work and the already good things that crossing guards are doing here in the city. Those nonprofit organizations include the United Way and the Be There campaign, Allies for Children, and of course the mentoring partnership of Southwestern Pennsylvania. This month is January, and it is also National Mentor Month here in the United States. It is a time for us to celebrate the work that mentors do each and every day. And we, as I said, believe that crossing guards play an important role in mentoring our youth. They do this each and every day, developing these relationships. And working with the mentoring partnership, as well as Simple Interactions at the Fred Rogers Center, these folks here with you have been working and will continue to work through January with the crossing guards here in the Bureau of Police to further enhance the already great work that they do and to elevate further the already great work that they do mentoring our children and youth here in Pittsburgh. This work has been generously supported by the Buell Foundation, a local important philanthropy here in Pittsburgh, as well as the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention and the National Mentoring Resource Center. So I'd like to turn it over to a few folks here to say a few important words, not only about mentoring and about crossing guards, but in general, the work that's been going on here. And the first person, obviously, that I'd like to turn to is Mayor Peduto, who's shown tremendous leadership when it comes to improving the lives of children and youth here in Pittsburgh. Mayor Peduto?
Thank you, Dr. Dowd, and in particular, I want to thank you and Allies for Children for bringing us all together and leading this initiative. We've come a long way in 2 years. I remember 2 years ago sitting down with Dr. Lane, and the issues that we were discussing between the city of Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh public schools were ones that were divisive, whether it was on teacher evaluation, the upcoming budget, the battles of closing schools. There was a lack of communication which brought us together to find ways to create common solutions. Over the course of the past couple of years, the Education Task Force, which Dr. Dowd was a leader on, we were able to identify ways that we could work together. And one of the most important ways was public safety. The safety of our kids on their way to school, the safety of our kids while they're in school, on their way back home, and during the time that they're not in school. And that partnership understood the real importance and the strength of our crossing guards. As John Tokarski, who's here from Public Safety, told me just a moment ago, this is the first interaction for a child with a uniformed officer. And in any other situation when they're dealing with somebody in a uniform, it's in a crisis, whether it's a medical emergency, a fire, or violence. but the opportunity on a daily basis to interact with our crossing guards, to see that person as a role model, and to be able to talk to them will help to build a future in which they have a better interaction with public safety. And that's why this is so important. So today we launch a new program that will train our school crossing guards to be able to work even stronger in the relationships that they build with Pittsburgh's youth. And Pittsburgh will become the first city in this country to create this program of mentorship for our crossing guards. But I can't let this moment pass without giving a special thanks to Elaine Alter and the women and man that serve as Pittsburgh school crossing guards, because they've been doing this day in and day out for years. Now they're going to be given the resources that they desperately need.
Thank you, Mayor. And as Mayor Peduto said, Elaine Alter is the supervisor for the crossing guards. We have 100 crossing guards here in the city of Pittsburgh. And they are out there each and every day working on behalf of our children. They work for all citizens, it's true, but there's a particular relationship, I think, that they form with our young people here in the city of Pittsburgh. And I'd like to ask Elaine to say just a few words about the great work of the crossing guards here in Pittsburgh. So, Elaine Alter, thank you.
Thank you. I would just like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for finally having the recognition that my department really needs. It's been a long time coming. The guards do so much, not only for the children, but for the pedestrians and the residents of Pittsburgh. Redirecting them if they're lost or a visitor from Pittsburgh, and so actually being the ambassador for Pittsburgh. So from that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have a wonderful department, which makes my job a whole lot easier, and they're the reason that I can do what I can do. So thank you.
Chief McClay not only has the responsibility of keeping 300,000 plus residents of Pittsburgh safe each and every day, but also those who travel in and out of the city every day. And in addition to that, to making sure that all the children are safe here in the city of Pittsburgh. And to also, as a part of his mission, to further improve the relationships between the police and the community and the police and the youth of the city. And so I'd like to turn it over to Chief McClay to say a few words. Chief?
Thank you, Patrick. I'll keep my comments brief. I think Patrick, Mayor Peduto, Elaine spoke very, very well on the importance of crossing guards as mentors, as connections between the city officials, Department of Public Safety, Pittsburgh Police, and the communities we serve. I'm a very, very strong proponent of the fact that crossing guards are effectively a force multiplier for police. It's in our best interest we develop really strong relationships between my officers who work in any particular neighborhood and those crossing guards. The crossing guards know the kids, so they become a wonderful way for our officers to get to know the kids in the neighborhood. And at the same time, as valued partners in traffic safety, it's very, very important that police have a visible presence in those locations. We staff crossing guards in those areas where there's high concentrations of pedestrian traffic, particularly young people, and so the crossing guards are there because of traffic safety. So the support and visibility of police officers and marked police vehicles help keep the kids safe and support the work of the crossing guards. So I'm very, very excited about the mentoring training. I'm excited about the partnership that we're developing, and look forward to a year where we may tighten the bonds even closer between the crossing guards and the officers who work in our neighborhoods. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Dr. Lane, the superintendent of the Pittsburgh Public Schools, knows well the value of crossing guards. One of the important roles that guards play, in addition to this work that they do as mentoring, or as part of that, I should say, is to help make sure and to help kind of inspire kids on their way to school, on the way to the after-school programs, and to make sure that we're really making it easier for kids to get to and from those important opportunities for learning. And so I'd like to ask Dr. Lane not only to say a few words about that, but also I have not been to a meeting in this town when Dr. Lane hasn't talked about the importance of the roles of adults in the lives of kids. She's herself a great role model and mentor for that, but she also understands just the power and magnitude of what that can do for a young person. So Dr. Lane?
Thank you so much, Mr. Dowd. Good morning, everyone. I'm so pleased to be here with you this morning, and before I came down to speak with you, I got an opportunity to go up and speak to our crossing guards that are here for training. That was so great to have that opportunity. We don't always, I usually see crossing guards one at a time. But to have a group where I can thank them for all they do for our children was really special to me. And we all think about on mornings like this one, when they're standing out on those corners around the city of Pittsburgh, keeping kids safe and keeping adults safe as well. So they do a wonderful job, and we can't thank them enough. But I do want to talk a little bit about mentoring. Mentoring means a great deal to the students who are mentored, and I think many of us in this room, probably sometime in our lives, were mentored by someone. And so that's why I'm asking anyone who's ever thought about jumping in to help as a mentor to please do it. And I have 3 reasons for you. We have 3 programs in the Pittsburgh Public Schools that I'm going to mention quickly that are mentoring programs. One is Reading is Fundamental. You can be an early grade reader. One is be a 6th grade mentor, and this, of course, begins at the 6th grade, but following a child through to help them make a successful transition to high school. And that's been sponsored by United Way for a number of years. And then we have We Promise, which is a program for our young men of color to help prepare them to be ready for the Pittsburgh Promise. And so there are lots of ways you can help a child. And I know there might be reasons people think I can't do that. I don't know how, I don't have time, but there's a lot of flexibility and there's training, just like our crossing guards are getting. So you can be comfortable in the program. I know there are times in my life where people didn't try to find time for me, they made time for me. And I feel I owe back because of the people that did that for me. So finally, we know that mentoring can be the most rewarding part of your week. I've had 3 young women now that I've mentored successively, and my 3 young ladies have been an inspiration to me. I have learned so much from them. So you grow as a part of being a mentor. So I'm asking just to have people jump in and help. We have a lot more children who would love to have a mentor. All of them ask for more time with their mentor. So we're looking for more mentors and hope that you help us in that effort. Thank you all so much.
I'd also like to ask Colleen Fedor, who's the Executive Director of the Mentoring Partnership of Southwestern Pennsylvania, to talk with us a little bit about their work. They are the ones who will be working with crossing guards over the course of the month of January to help, as I said, elevate and further enhance the already good mentoring work that they're doing. This is really about making it more intentional and systematized. And she can also perhaps say a little bit about the additional work that's going to be going on later this year with Simple Interactions of the Fred Rogers Center, which is an opportunity to further work with crossing guards and do sort of a feedback session or series of video sessions with them. So Colleen Fedor, thank you.
Thank you very much, Patrick, Mayor Peduto, Superintendent Lane, Elaine, Chief McClay. We're so grateful for this leadership and support in realizing that every day there are so many caring adults who want to be good role models, who want to support children, who want to help them reach their goals and reach their full potential. Those are everyday mentors. 2 years ago, the Mentoring Partnership had the concept that possibly is there a way that we can interact and help adults who are engaged with kids every single day. And crossing guards were the #1 place that we wanted to begin. We watched the crossing guards on street corners every morning, every afternoon, and you see the way they talk with children and care about them. How can we make their interactions more intentional? Who else is out there who are everyday mentors? Sports coaches, bus drivers, cafeteria ladies. There's a whole lot of people who care about kids and who are helping to make Pittsburgh, Kidsburg, the best place on earth to be a kid and to raise a kid. So the Mentoring Partnership is really thrilled to have the support of the Buell Foundation and the Fred Rogers Center so that we can help with this training by the inclusion of Simple Interactions, which will videotape great people doing great things and use that as an example to train others. So we think it's a wonderful concept, and we're very excited that the Buell Foundation's found that to be a good grant. So on behalf of the Mentoring Partnership and our whole team here, during National Mentoring Month, we are pleased to kick off everyday mentor training for crossing guards, and it is the first in the country, and we expect to grow everyday mentoring initiatives throughout our region. So thank you to all of you.
Thanks, Colleen. So with that, I'd like to say just a couple of things in closing, just sort of on the technical side of things. I think you're aware that there's a training that's taking place here in the headquarters, and it's my understanding that those of you who are interested in doing some video shoots of that will have an opportunity to see some of that, observe it without disturbing it, please. And then in addition, the individuals who are here have agreed to stay for a period of time to answer questions one-on-one and to do some video interviews, so you have an opportunity to do that. Again, I just want to thank everybody here for their leadership and for their recognition of the important work that the crossing guards and the people in the Bureau of the people in the Bureau of Police here in the city of Pittsburgh in general are doing on behalf of kids. We're grateful for your support, and we're grateful for your work each and every day to improve the lives of children here in Pittsburgh. And with that, thank you very much.